Alright then. So, I'm using Sonar X3. It's my preferred DAW of choice. Been using it since 7, I think. About whatever was out in 2007. So anyway, this is what I got. I have the intro on one track because it's just easier for me to look at. Drums, then guitar 2 and the bass. Then this acoustic one is for the acoustic section in my song Lunar Aura. I just decided to put on its own thing since I was playing it. This is the sample for the intro to I Will End You. The vocal effects are just like delays and stuff, like offset screams and whatnot. Stuff that I didn't want to try and use a processor for, or try and, coordinate with the front of house guy. Just makes it easier. The outro, same as intro, I have it on a separate track. The click here is, I just recorded the click, and this just goes into my in-ear monitors, so that doesn't go out to the mains. The vocal notes, I just recorded notes to myself, like, what lyrics. I think this one was like, don't start singing it, it starts here, and these are just, this is the next line coming up, that's the one, whatever I was forgetting. And then in between songs, like right here, it's like, tune your third string up a half step, because it's in standard all the way. And then another song I have to tune another string half step down. Just stuff like that, people to remember to thank and whatnot. And then I have these two are recording while I'm playing vocal recording guitar 1, just so that I can get, the full mix live instead of trying to go off the feed from the board, in case that's less than stellar, which it, probably more than often is. And then track 13 here is just the MIDI going to the Axe effects for patch changes and scene changes and stuff, because I just do everything in scenes. I'm not turning individual effects on or off or whatever. I think I really only use I think it's just two patches right now. I just have my main distortion one. Scene 2 is the lead, which is just the same thing with reverb and delay. And then I have an acoustic patch. I mean, it's pretty simple. So we'll get to that then. Here's Axe effects. Yeah, Recto Red 1 Modern is what it says. But, there you go. We all know what it looks like. It's fantastic. Okay. So this treble panel underneath, it's just a little rack. It's about, I'd say about that, deep, 3, 4 or 5 inches deep. I don't know, I bought it on eBay and I gutted it and I just used it as an empty rack enclosure because it was cheaper than buying a whatever one. So I put a USB pass-through for the Axe effects, so I just plug into here. I don't have to go to the back at all. I had a DI that I had made with the Jensen transformer that I took out of the enclosure and put into this one, so this is the ground lift for that. This goes directly from output 2, and then this feeds my in-ear mix and this mixer that I've got here. This goes from output 1 on the Axe through the DI, and this goes to front of house. And I just have MIDI in and out here. I built this before I had this rack. I was just using a 4-space rack bag, so it was just easier to do that. I only got this whole rack thing like a month or so ago. But here's the mixer that I'm using for in-ears. It's just a, let's see, you can't even see in there. It's the Yamaha MG82CX, if anyone cares. Track 1, this is vocals, this is my guitar, this is the stereo mix. I mean, that's it. That's all I really need. So that's, pretty sweet. Whatever. I got a bunch of right angle connectors in there. And you can't see that either. So that's fun. Now, everything, let's do this, runs through the FirePod. Right there. All the connections are in the back. I have all the outs. I made this panel here This is the mic in, because I bring my own microphone just so I know what it's going to sound like in my in-ears. It's just a little Sennheiser. It's probably right here. Yep. This guy, E935. It's blue. So that goes in. I have a 3-way mic splitter in the back, and then this is the out for that. That's the direct out for the front of house. And then these two are left and right stereo outs for all of the backing tracks. I didn't put a DI in here because I don't want to spend the money. I just put a few resistors in there and made a pad. You know, you just wire, what was it, 150 ohm resistor across pins 2 and 3, and then a 7500 ohm resistor on pin 2, and another one on pin 3 that go to the hot and cold cable. So that's all. It drops it down 40 dB, so it turns line level to mic level. These other 4 outs is just if I'd originally planned to do separate outs for everything, just to give the front of house guy more control if he wanted, but then I figured that stereo would just be easier, but I still have that option. I just made this knockout, I can still do more. I think this was going to be for some kind of out on XFX. I made this when I was using 2 separate racks, so this isn't connected right now. I honestly don't even remember if that's what it's for. Then I had this mini out that was the same purpose. I'm not using it anymore. I'm just running a mini cable from the back of the axe to the FirePod MIDI in the back, so I don't have anything in the front. This FireWire feed-through is going from the FirePod, and then I just have it coming up here on the side of my laptop. I figured that was easier than going in the back, just because if it gets loose, I can see it. It's a lot easier to troubleshoot if it's like in the middle of a song, although I mean it shouldn't, because I'm one guy on a stage, like nothing's gonna be bouncing around that much. Like, I'm not that big of a guy, I have a 2-space rack drawer. As you can see, it's just got a whole bunch of bullshit in it. Extra strings, mic, whatever, my wireless stuff, extra cables, all the good fun stuff that you might end up needing, but you hope you don't ever have to use. Which I did have to use because I broke a goddamn string in the first song. Don't ever do that. It's weird. So, the vocal mic is running through this Eureka preamp that I just bought. I didn't want to bring my DBX 160 XT and my SSL Alpha Logic pre with me because that's just too much money to be wheeling around. I picked this thing up used for like $200. I mean, it works. I have some pretty, extreme settings. I don't know if you can see it. This is all the way over. The threshold's all the way down at, minus 40. Ratio is 6.5. Makeup gain's all the way up. Because, I'm screaming a lot. I do use a little bit of EQ. I think, for the low, it's about 200, 210 maybe, down about 7 dB. A narrow Q. The mid is about 1K maybe, down about 4 dB. The average Q, I guess. I didn't do anything to high. But that's the front. I guess I'll try and go around at the back. Hopefully you can see all this okay. And, no, you sure can't. Sweet. Well, you know what? I'll go get a flashlight. Alright. Apparently you can't turn the flash on the iPhone thing off or on while you're using it. Go figure. I don't know if you can do it with the 5. It's a 4. That's neither here nor there. This is the mic splitter. Like I said, it's a 3-way. It's the Whirlwind IMP 1x3. So I have the direct. This is all hardwired. This is the back of that panel that I was talking about. You can see the resistors there. I just cut the end off of a snake that I had. you know, that's going to the back of the fire pod. It's not as messy as it looks on this camera. I guess you know, it's not too bad. It's the wireless unit, which I didn't mention on the front, but that's fine. Here's the power supplies for the fire pod and the board. I took some Scotch brand Velcro, affixed them to the bottom. They don't move. It's pretty good. I did that the same thing with the splitter, just so when, you know, I transport this, it doesn't go anywhere. It's nice. Convenience. Power cables. I just took some of that, I taped them to the side, so they're all out of the way. And luckily, for some weird reason, I lucked out, and all the power is all on the same side. You guys can see that. And you know that that doesn't really ever happen, ever. You know, the more rack stuff you have, it's like people just don't ever want to put it on the same side. Whatever. I lucked out. It's cool. So, the only downside to this rack thing, if you get up under it, yeah, you can't really see it. This part here, it's like it's supposed to be for a DJ. This, it's got little sliders. You just unhook it and you can slide it back. I can't slide mine back too far because I don't have enough right angle connectors in the back. So, I'm going to set this down for a second. Hello. See how far I can get it back. That's about it. Okay. I have a right angle XLR that's on the way. So, you know, this is just the back of the Axe FX. Nothing fancy. A lot of right angle connectors, because I said I had that bracket bag that I was using before. I just pretty much converted everything to right angles. I believe that's it. I don't think you can see anything else in the back, so whatever. Yeah, the wireless, it's this Sennheiser Wahaha EW300 IEM-G3. I've only used it once live because I just played my first show with this, you know, one-man band that I'm doing now, and it worked okay. So I believe that's it. I'll show you guys this rack. So it's got 4 space on the top and then an 8 space slant, which is, I guess, originally supposed to be for turntables. That's why you can slide the thing back. And then it's got 8 on the bottom. I think it's 8. No, it's 12 on the bottom. I'm an idiot. So yeah, this is my one-man band live rig. So, you know, now you know. Now you can be one of the cool kids.